private vehicle.
Freeze! Hey, welcome back to the Unseen Podcast. I'm your host, Chris.
I'm your host, Shelby.
And we are finally back for episode 3. I know it's been a long while.
Time.
Yeah. So I know we promised originally every other Monday. I think we're going to start switching it up to once a month.
Yeah.
So,
Probably.
I think we'll decide which Monday to come out with it.
Yeah.
Whether it's the first one, the second Monday, whatever. But I think we're going to change it down to once a month.
Yeah, that's
I think we got a
good
little ahead of ourselves.
A little bit.
On our schedules and how often we could get in here and do an hour-long podcast. It doesn't seem like a lot. It's like, oh, it's just an hour out of your day. It's not.
But then with kids and everything, you're like, how
the jobs, the kids, the commute, the coming up with material.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I can't imagine people who do this like every week.
Well, I can because that's usually their job.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, if this was my job, I could do it every day. No problem. But,
Probably.
It's not.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're back. We're happy to be back.
How's everything going with you?
Not too bad. It's been quite busy. Things are, the funny thing is that usually people are always like, it's going to be busy for you this weekend. It's 4th of July.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's a Friday night, it's a full moon.
Oh,
and
yeah, there was Cinco de Mayo, right?
Yeah,
was
Cinco
that
de
crazy?
Mayo. Well, not really.
Not
I mean,
really?
it was as crazy as normal. But the funny thing is all those things never matter. I'll tell you right now, all the times that people think are busy, sometimes are busy, but sometimes are dead.
Just normal.
And then on a Tuesday, shit hits the fan. Like just a regular Tuesday, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Right.
The one thing that you can always bank on, it either getting busier or slower,
Full
is
moon.
the weather.
Oh.
When it gets colder, it slows down.
Really?
Yeah.
When it's hot, people get pissed off when they're hot.
Not just that, but I think people are just more active when it starts warming up.
You think?
Yes.
I feel like I get less active when it's hot.
Me too, honestly.
Like, can I stay in
But
the
then
air
again, I'm not the
conditioning?
demographic that I'm chasing. I'm not a
True.
criminal, so
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I guess criminals feel more active when it warms up.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really, I always tell people, I'm like, I mean, holiday weekends, who
Not
knows?
that bad.
It can be, but it can also be dead. I don't
Just
know.
normal?
There's never a predictable thing as far as how busy it is or isn't going to be,
Yeah.
except for the weather.
That's so weird.
Out of all my years, it's the only thing I can bank on.
I'm all like, full moons.
Yeah, so especially when it just changes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, we're just coming out of the cold season where I patrol.
I feel like it's too early for it to be hot, though.
Yeah, well, I don't know, because it was really cold all the way up until the last week. Like, just last week, there was a certain point I was on patrol, and it was like 29 degrees outside. And I was like, what is going on here? It's May.
Oh, jeez.
But anyway, enough about the weather. Yeah. We're not meteorologists, but
Is that?
it's been, there's always interesting things going on. For a little bit of story time, I got a call as I was leaving the area that the call was in. Like, I just passed the area, about people who had climbed on top of the roof of a KFC.
A KFC, okay.
And I was like, what?
Why?
So I turn around and I'm like, yeah, I was just over there. I didn't see any people on top of KFC. And I get there and I pull into the parking lot and I can just see the top of somebody's head on the roof. And I shine my spotlight up there and
they duck. Okay.
They duck down like I didn't just see their little head. And I was like, hey! And they popped their head back up. I was like, get off the roof! And surprisingly, I'm figuring it's either one of three things.
How do you get up there?
So there's a ladder on the side of the building, but it doesn't go all the way to the ground.
Oh.
The ladder starts like up here.
Oh, okay.
But there's like an electrical box
Oh, you can,
below
like,
it, so they
stand
like
on it?
stepped on it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I'm thinking when I get there and I see that there is people on the roof, it's one of three things. It's A, some crazy person trying to burglarize this place from the roof.
Okay.
Okay.
How?
B,
Okay.
somebody who's really high
Probably.
and thought this was a good idea.
I mean, they're at KFC in the middle of the
Right.
night.
Or C, it's a suicidal person
Oh, yeah, that's
who
not good.
plans on jumping. So I'm
Okay.
like, it's one of these three
Would
things.
that kill
right?
you? That doesn't seem tall enough.
It can. I mean, if you swan dive off of it and hit head
Head
first,
first?
I mean, you're
Maybe.
gonna, you got a high percentage chance. But,
Okay.
I don't know which one it is. I just know that there's somebody on the roof of KFC, and
Right.
I work night shifts, so it's like,
That's weird.
yeah, it's the middle of the night.
Is it even open?
No,
Oh, okay.
no,
so it's
KFC's closed.
Gotcha.
Yeah, there's nothing open around it.
All right.
Right? So I'm like, it's one of these three things. And so I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm going to tell them to get off the roof. They're not going to do it. We're going to have to talk them down off this freaking roof. Eventually, somebody's going to have to either go up there. I'm going to have to get the helicopter maybe, if it, you know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this is going to turn into a huge thing.
Oh my gosh.
So I yell at him, get off the roof. And he just starts climbing down the ladder.
Really?
Yeah, he's like, all right. And I'm like, what? Like, I'm kind of taken back at the instant compliance, right?
Yeah,
I'm
right.
like, okay. And then his girlfriend is up there too.
Oh,
And she starts climbing. And I was like, oh man, were you guys trying to like get it on the roof? Like,
That's so
because I can
weird.
instantly tell by like their disheveled appearance and things like that they're probably transients, they're homeless. And I'm like, so this is where they were going to
Okay.
get down, right? Is on the roof. And, romantic. The roof of KFC, you know?
Yes, sounds good.
So he gets down, and I can just tell instantly this dude is high as hell.
Really?
Oh, my God. His eyes are just shot out. He's doing the involuntary muscle spasms. He's talking all sorts of nonsense.
Oh my gosh.
All sorts of nonsense. Like, I'm asking him simple questions like, why are you on the roof? And so let me ask you this. Put yourself in their position, right? You were just on the roof, and now you're
Okay.
talking to me, and I say, why were you on the roof?
I don't know.
Okay, I mean, that's one response. He would start off with something. I'd be like, why were you on the roof? And he'd be like, man, you should have seen something. I was over here. And I'm like, okay, I get it now. You have no idea that you were even on a roof right
Yeah.
now. Like, and then his girlfriend comes down. Trying to identify him. I'm trying to calm him down to just talk to me. I'm like, dude.
Was she able to answer anything?
She was less high, but still high.
Okay.
He was just out of his mind.
Okay.
And then he started talking to me about how, man, I'm out here helping you guys all the time. And I was like, what do you mean you guys? And he's like, the cops.
What?
And I was like, how are you helping us? And he's like, man, I'm out here. I help Batman. And I was like, wait, you help who? And he was like, Batman. And I was like, you know him personally? And he was like, yeah, he's right here. And I was like, I'm looking
Oh my
around and I'm like,
gosh.
where? And he's like, dude, it's you. I was like, wait a minute, can you? Because I got my recorder running. I'm like, can you say that again for me? I'm like,
So you have
tell
it
me
on
I'm
record?
Batman again. That's the coolest compliment I've ever been paid in my
Oh,
entire life.
gosh.
Do you know the names I've been called as a cop?
Not good
Horrendous
ones.
things.
Yeah, probably not.
Nobody's ever told me I'm Batman. So he was like, yeah, aren't you? And I was like, absolutely. I was like, I'm absolutely Batman.
You just played it up.
And, he just keeps talking nonsense. So I put him in the back of the car. So I keep an eye on him until we get everybody identified and figure out that there's no burglary that happened or nothing crazy. His girlfriend's got some felony no bail warrant. So she's going to jail automatically. And the minute he sees us put her in cuffs, he starts flipping out in the back seat, smashing the windows, the cage, everything like that. And I'm like, knock it off.
Yeah.
And he's like, where are you taking her? I was like, to jail. She's got a no bail warrant. He's like, I should have known. And I was like, should have known that she had a warrant? He's like, no, that you would fuck me over like this. And I was like,
Like, you guys are best friends.
yeah, I
or
was like, I'm not doing anything of the sort. I was like, she's got a warrant, dude. I got to take her.
Yeah.
And just based on how erratic and how crazy he was and the fact that he's climbing KFC buildings, I'm like, you know what? You're going to jail too for being under the influence. Because if I
Yeah.
release you at this point and you climb back off there and jump, that's on me at that point. That's like, I'm
Yeah.
held liable for that. You know what I mean? I can't just leave you out here. You're going to do some crazy shit.
Oh, gosh.
And it is against the law to be under the influence of a controlled substance in public.
Publicly?
Yeah. And so, I ran him through the field sobriety test for methamphetamine, which I clearly already knew he was on.
Mm-hmm.
And, he performed magnificently and took him to jail. And just the whole way he's talking that crazy nonsense of like, at one point I looked in the rearview mirror and he made eye contact with me and I was like, shit, because I didn't want to talk to him anymore. He was crazy. And I knew if I made eye contact with him, that was going to start a conversation because there's one thing you can always bank on It's the fact that crazy high people, if you make eye contact with them, they're going to have a conversation with you. Like,
No.
it's going to happen. And I was like, shit. And then he was like, did you see that? And I was like, what? I looked at you. And he's like, no, in the mirror. I was like, I see you? And he goes, no. I was like, what do you see, man? And, because, I mean, at this point, I got my audio recorder rolling the whole time. And anything that he says is just going to work in court against him on his crazy shit that he's saying to prove he was high.
Oh, gosh.
I'm like, what do you see in the mirror, man? And he was like, it was your soul. It jumped right out of the mirror. And now I own it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just keep driving. Then he leans right up against the cage because there's like 2 pieces of plexiglass and then the middle is like cage. And he leans right up against it, which is like right here at me. And I'm like, sit back. Because I don't want him to spit on me or something, you know? And he's like, what are you going to do to get it back? And I was like, get what back? And he's like, I told you, I got your soul now. And I was like, well, you can go ahead and hang on to that, buddy. I was like, you can keep it. I don't need it anymore.
I would be so terrified. Also, that sounds scary as someone who's never been high like that. That sounds like scary to be like seeing shit
He was freaking out.
Oh my
And then when we
gosh.
pulled up to the jail finally, and I was like, all right, man, we're here. And I was about to get out, and he was like, you know what? You're not Batman. I was like, you take it back. I was like, you don't get to take that back.
So offended.
So that was one interesting thing.
That's hilarious.
I hurt my shoulder during a massive brawl in the projects. That was fun.
Oh no.
It was like 30 freaking people.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. It was like I'd like just help my partner with like a traffic stop, and it was nothing. We didn't even issue a ticket. It was just like a warning. I think if I remember correctly, it was like driving with their lights off or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And we're like, yeah, just turn your lights on, you know.
I got a ticket for that once.
I mean, I can't speak for all cops. I just
Well,
know
it's
for
kind
me,
of rude.
for me, I work in such a high crime, such a busy area
That it's
that
not
like
that
I
big
don't
of a
have
deal.
time to be writing traffic citations unless it's some really egregious shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So most time, although I may pull a car over for a traffic violation, usually it'll be a verbal warning, make sure they don't have any warrants, things like that. Nothing suspicious going on in the vehicle,
Gotcha.
yada, yada. But, you know, and again, I can't speak for all cops because there are people who their whole job is to be traffic enforcement. So they're going to write you a ticket.
Makes sense.
You know what I mean? CHP, they're going to write you a ticket.
Yeah.
They don't respond to calls. You know what I mean? There's traffic cops within the sheriff's department, within the police department, that all they do is that's what they
That's
do,
their
man.
job.
That's their job. But for me, I'm out there responding to calls and stuff. I didn't join this job to write traffic citations. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, it happens, but anyway.
I know what you mean.
So we leave the traffic stop, and then my partner goes one way, I go the other way, and like 60 seconds later, my partner goes OTA, which is on the radio, over the air OTA.
Okay.
And he's like, I got like 30 people brawling over here at this place, and
Oh no.
I'm like, oh man, that's right around. Oh, he's right there. And so I flip around, I go back. He's nowhere to be seen because unbeknownst to me, he's chasing one of the people through the complex.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, where the hell is he? And I just see people scrapping, and eventually we get it all broken up. Everybody's recording us, as they do nowadays.
Yeah.
Everybody's yelling shit at us. They're just
Mad.
they're not fans.
Yeah.
My
not
partner comes back with the guy he was chasing, who is like, he's on parole. He has a felony warrant for absconding from parole. He resisted. He ran. He fought other people. He assaulted people. Like, he's
Yeah.
going to jail.
Uh-huh.
And he's coming back with him. And so my partner has to go interview some other people and things like that about the assault that happened. He's like, hey, could you go ahead and put him in your car for now? And I was like, sure. And he's handcuffed. And so I'm not thinking anything of it. And I just kind of get like a loose grip on his arm to escort him to the car. And as soon as I touched him, and I have the loose grip, you know?
Yeah.
It's this arm right here.
Oh.
He like violently puts his foot against the car and then uses his foot as like leverage to push off the car and all of his body weight to rip off against me. And my arm is like hooked in with his arm.
Oh no.
And it like popped my shoulder. I thought for sure it was dislocated.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh my God, like the pain, incredible. And eventually got him in the car and everything like that. But I thought for sure it was dislocated at first until I was like, okay, I can still raise it. So it's not dislocated. It's just messed up.
Gross.
And
That sucks.
yeah, I've had, all sorts of stuff. I had a guy went 5150 who literally had a handful of pills, and I'm trying to talk to him, and he just looks at me and goes, "What are you gonna do about this?" And
Just
he
take
just
some
pops
off?
the whole thing of pills in front of me after he tells me, like, "What are you gonna do about it?" And he just
Oh
pops
my
them
gosh.
and starts chewing them. And I was
Chewing them.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, come on, man."
Oh, gross.
So
what, you just like have to take him to a hospital or something?
well, okay, so this is where the waters get real muddy in this state. And again, I can only speak for the state of California because that's where I am a cop, right?
Yeah.
Every state has different laws and practices, and every department has different policies and so forth.
Yeah.
In California, it is not a crime to kill yourself.
Oh, it's not?
No, not anymore. So it used to be. It used to be something where, like,
You would try to stop somebody?
so 5150, everybody knows the term 5150, right?
Yeah,
They think it just means you're crazy, right? Well, 5150 is actually the Welfare and Institutions Code of the state of California that states that a peace officer can basically detain someone to have them evaluated to be placed in a 72-hour hold based on, are they a harm to themselves,
Yeah.
a harm to other people, or gravely disabled.
Right,
Those
okay.
are, you have to be one of those three things.
Okay.
That's where the term 5150 comes into play, right?
And then they go to like psychiatric
Well,
help?
you'll take them to a hospital.
Yeah.
And technically, by law, every hospital is mandated to have to accept 5150 holds. However, that does not happen.
Oh,
There are
no.
hospitals that will literally be like, we don't do 5150s here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they don't care. They're like, we don't do it. So there's specific hospitals will take them too.
Okay.
Okay. And so I get the call that at first the call isn't anything. It's like, somebody dialed 911. We can't understand what's being said. So it comes out as like an unknown problem. They're like,
Okay.
hey, there's something going on. We can hear people kind of arguing in the background. Nobody's talking to the dispatcher. And then there's a hang up, and now they're not answering when we call them back.
Oh, no. Okay.
So I was like, okay,
Now you have to go check it out?
yeah, I got to go check it out. And I get there, and there's a woman with the garage door like halfway open. And then she's trying to close it. I'm like, no, you need to talk to me. I'm here for a reason, you know?
Yeah.
And she's hesitant, but if eventually she comes out and talks to me, and she's like, everything's fine. And I'm like, okay, what do you mean everything's
That's
fine?
weird.
I was
Okay.
like, we're not leaving it at that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not just walking away taking your word that everything's fine. Somebody call 911, there's an argument in the background, and then nobody would answer.
Yeah.
So I need to make sure that everybody is fine.
Yeah.
I can't take your word for it. If I just took people's word for it,
That's
there'd
weird.
be a lot of trouble going on, right? And so eventually I'm talking to her. She's got the garage door open, and I see her husband pop his head out behind her, and he goes,
To you?
yeah, to me. And I was like, what the hell's going on? So I'm like, hey, step over here. Let me go talk to him. And then he closes the door and locks it.
Okay.
And I'm like, what the hell, man? And keep in mind, this is like 2 a.m. I'm like,
Okay.
what is going on? Right?
That's super
And then he
strange.
kind of circles around. He comes out the front door, and he's just in his boxers.
Okay.
And I'm like, what's going on, man? What's the problem?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, I'm done. I'm done with this bitch, blah, 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 blah. And he just starts cursing out his wife. And I was like, okay, do you want to hurt yourself? He's like, yeah, I already took a whole bottle of ibuprofen. He's like, will that do the trick?
Probably not.
And probably not, but I'm not going to tell him that.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be like, no, you should try these. You know what I mean? Like, that's not my thing. So I'm like, okay. So I get on, you know what I mean? I'm not going to be like, that ain't going to do it for you, but what you need to do is go and get this and that. No.
No.
So he's like, you think that'll do the trick? And I was like, well, I think it's not good for you, and I'm going to get an ambulance here to check you out. And he goes, fuck you. And he walks back inside. Right? Now, this goes back to, I was kind of talking about California law and how it works for 5150, right?
Yeah.
So it used to be that we would go in, if you're going to hurt yourself, we're going in, we're going to detain you, we're going to take
We're
you
gonna stop
5150,
you?
right? Yeah, we're going to stop you.
Okay.
It all started to change, I don't know how many years ago, but fairly recently. I'd say within the last 10 years or so, okay? Where we will not do that anymore if the only person you're planning on harming is yourself. Right, because what had happened a few times, I guess, I don't know how many times, but it happened,
Yeah.
is you would have somebody with like a gun to their head, right? And they'd be like, I want to kill myself. And then the cops would go in to try to detain them, take them 5150, prevent them from killing themselves.
Yeah.
And when they went in, the person would turn the gun on the cops, and the cops would shoot them.
Oh.
They would die.
Okay.
Then the family And the public in general hears like, wait a minute, so you went in to prevent someone from killing themselves and you killed them?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds bad when you put it like that.
Yeah.
I didn't go in there to kill them, obviously. I went in there to prevent it, and then they tried to kill me. However, that's not how the public sees it. That's not how the families see it. So that's no longer a thing. We no longer will do that.
Okay,
right?
because
So
it's just a danger to themselves.
right.
Not to
And
other
so
people.
and it's no longer against the law to kill yourself in California. Now, it is against the Welfare and Institution Code 5150 and allows me to take you to the hospital for the 72-hour hold. But I'm not going to force entry into your house if you're the only person in there and you're the only one that's you're the only one that's going to be harmed by yourself.
Yeah,
right?
I see
I'm not going to create an exigent circumstance
where multiple people could get hurt.
exactly, right? So, I mean, at the end of the day, I will do everything that I can to have them comply, to come out, to invite me in, to do what we need to do to get them to the hospital. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to kick down their door, go in there and pounce on them because they want to kill themselves. And I can't. That's not what we're supposed to do anymore, right? So he goes in, locks the door behind him, and I'm like, oh, man, here we go. This is going to turn into a long thing.
Yeah.
I got to figure out a way to get this guy to come back out. I'm trying to figure out who else is in the house, because if there's other people in the house and he has weapons, this is a different story. That's a different story, because now there's other people at risk, right? So right about the time I'm figuring out who's in the house, he doesn't have weapons, blah, blah, blah. He comes right back out through the garage, and he starts just ripping through boxes. I'm like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm looking for more pills. I go, why? And he goes, because I'm going to kill myself. And I go, well, I can't let you do that. And that's when he looks up at me with a handful of pills. He goes, what are you going to do about it? And he just pops
I can't believe he
a whole
chews
handful and just starts chewing on him. So I was like, all right. And I put him in handcuffs. And he's like, what, are you putting me on a 72-hour hold? And I was like, yeah, man. I was like, definitely. And so I'm walking him out to the garage. I was like, you should please spit that out.
Yeah.
Spit it out. And he's like, why? And I was like, well, for one, I'm not a doctor, but I got to tell you, from my own personal experience of seeing other people swallow a bunch of pills like that, when your body tries to process it, it's probably going to hurt like hell.
Yeah.
And then they're going to pump your stomach full of charcoal at the hospital and induce vomiting. It's just not pleasant. You should probably spit it out. And he goes,
horrible.
for real? And I was like, yeah, man. And he goes,
it spits him
spits
out.
it right out. And I was like, okay.
Could you imagine how that tastes though? Do you know when you like take a pill and it accidentally gets like stuck and you can taste it?
And he's just chewing on it, man. And like you can see the powder like coming out as he's chewing.
Gross.
And I was like, oh,
Please no.
Man, this guy's having a rough go.
They probably still had to pump his stomach, huh?
I don't know, because 2 hours later, so I put him in the back of the car, wait for the ambulance to come. You know, they make sure that he's not
dying.
You know, it's not an imminent thing, but they still have to transport him to the hospital. And they do so. Yeah. And they're going to write the hold on him for the psych hold, you know what I mean? Yeah. And 2 hours later, get a call. He left the hospital with the IV still in. And they're like, you should go try to find him.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, so.
Just wandering around with an IV still in your arm?
I'm sure he took it out, but, you know, the last time they saw it, like, they didn't take the IV out. So when he left.
The story just keeps getting worse. Could you imagine taking your own IV out?
Yeah,
you probably have.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, not in those circumstances, but yes, when I had to go through CLS and TCCC medical training when I was in the Army and stuff like that, you stick each other all the time during training and stuff. So IVs are really no thing. And going out isn't the part that hurts most people. It's you know, but. Oh my God, I've got like 100 of these stories just from the last couple weeks. You know, I
can't get over, like, I feel like I can taste the pills.
Oh, I know.
Like, just
when I saw it, and especially, like, the first couple crunches, you could see the powder, like, poof, like, out of his mouth, and I was like, oh, God.
Oh, gosh.
This guy really is about it today, man. I don't get it.
Gosh.
And, yeah, it is what it is.
Oh, man.
You know, it's just crazy people and just doing crazy stuff and nonstop, man.
I don't want that.
You know, and it's funny because I've worked in really slow areas before. I worked at this station, you know. I mean, I've worked in different states as a cop. I've worked in corrections as a cop, on patrol, slow areas, rural areas, cities, high crimes, all that stuff. So it's like, I remember working the slow areas and being like, oh, you know, I wrote a couple tickets. I responded a couple 911 calls, and, you know, I took someone to jail this week. like once
Do
a week.
like 8 people a night.
Yeah, you know, I was like, it's pretty calm night. And now it's like, dude, I'm lucky if I get time to eat. Out of a 12-hour shift, if I get time to sit there and eat a meal, I'm stoked. I'm like, yes. So I just it's interesting. It can get old sometimes, but it's also very interesting because
it's never the same.
That, and you don't realize how unordinary I don't realize how unordinary my day-to-day experiences are to the general public until I tell someone from the general public how my day went, and they're like, Jesus, man.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, they start getting interested in my day, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, I guess that's unusual for most people, you know? I'm like, but when you're in it, you don't think of it that way.
Yeah,
especially when you're in it, every day, you know what I mean? And then you remove yourself from that situation and all your cop buddies who also go through the same thing. So it's not strange to you or anybody around you. And it's not strange to the people that you're interacting with because they don't think it's strange to act that way. You know what I mean? And then you go home and you tell people and they're like, what?
You're like, that's insane.
Yeah, they're like, that's a little crazy, man. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I guess it is, huh? Never really thought of it that way. But yeah, it's
I don't think I'm ever going to get over that pill thing.
The pill thing?
I'm like going to think about it all the time.
I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'm telling you right now, even a cop that's been a cop for 30 years who says I've seen it all, hasn't seen it all. You will always, no matter how long you've been doing this job, you will always have something that takes you off guard. Even if it's only for a second. Yeah. There will be that thing that comes along 20 years in where you'll be like, oh, shit. Like,
no.
That was one thing that took me off guard was when he just, like, matter-of-factly looked at me and was like, what are you going to do about it? And then just popped a handful of pills and started chewing them. And I was like...
Like a kid that's challenging you or something.
Like I've had that before.
Like a child.
Yeah, I've had that before.
It sounds like a kid that's trying to challenge you.
Right.
You know, it's not like, it doesn't sound like a grown-up would say something like
and
that.
Keep in mind, he's in his boxers the whole time, and he's just pissed. He's like ripping through boxes in his garage and throwing shit around, and I'm like, dude. Gosh. Just stop.
I'm sure, though, that taking a whole bottle of ibuprofen is not good for you.
Of course not.
I don't think it would kill you.
I mean, they tell you not to take, like, more than 8 in a 24-hour period. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it'll kill you or not. I'm not a medical professional.
But it sounds still bad.
It's definitely bad. Yeah. It's not recommended. You know what I mean? And it's just, I
think ibuprofen is a blood thinner.
That's a good question. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure because Mom had to stop taking it before one of her surgeries because of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably dangerous.
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure. No doubt. And like I said, I was like, dude, I can just imagine, like, depending on the size of the bottle we're talking about. Yeah. Can you imagine the stomach ache that's going to create later?
True, yeah.
Oh, my God.
I mean, like, normally around the house, we have the bottle of, like, 120, so that's, like, what I'm thinking.
That's what I mean.
He could have, like, a 10 bottle.
I guess, but imagine that he took, like, a serious bottle.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? And it's like, dude, there's some people that eat greasy food, and you're like, ooh, my stomach. Can you imagine 100 ibuprofen rolling around in there? Oh, my God. That's got to be horrific.
No.
So I have no idea how it went for him once he got to the hospital.
Well, then he left.
Yeah, then he left, and I'm like, I kind of was wondering. I was like, I wonder if he regretted leaving like an hour later when the stomach ache kicked in, and you know what I mean, where he was like, oh, I should have stayed. Like,
probably. Jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe they were able to
find him,
treat him before he left. I don't know. I don't know. Once they get transported to the hospital, that's no longer my domain, you know?
Crazy.
I'm not a doctor or an EMT or a paramedic or anything, so.
Yeah, no.
I really have nothing to do with that realm.
No.
But yeah, that gave me pause for like a quick second when he did that. I was like, oh shit. I was like, like it wouldn't have been noticeable if you were standing next to me. Yeah. But in my mind,
you're like,
I was like, oh shit, what am I gonna do about that? I was like, you know what I mean? Like for just a split second, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do about
like
that.
He wanted you to fight him or something.
I don't think he wanted me to fight him, because he had every opportunity to swing at me or, you know, do something like that. I don't think he wanted to fight. I think he was
just
having,
pissed.
He was just having some sort of crisis in his head. And I think he just wanted to, I think he wanted to go 5150 because as soon as I told him, yes, I'm taking you for the 72-hour hold, he pretty much calmed down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, there was a certain point where he started, banging on the window and stuff for a quick second, but I talked to him, and I'm like, hey, man, that's not
Gonna help.
it's not going to help anything,
Yeah.
And he calmed down again, and then when he got loaded in the ambulance, I was like, hey, I want to put, like, soft restraints on you instead of handcuffs because you're getting transported to the hospital and things like that, but I need you to be cool. And he's like, yeah, I'm not going to cause the EMTs any problems. And he didn't.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so...
Hopefully he's okay
You
somewhere.
never, when I first contacted him, he's level 10 anger, and, by the time he was transported by the ambulance, he was
Yeah.
calm and collected.
Hopefully he's okay somewhere.
Who knows how he was when he left the hospital prematurely with an IV in his arm, but,
Poor thing. I mean, really, like, what the heck?
I don't know, man. And we're not talking about, like, a young guy.
Yeah, how old was he?
He's, like, 40-something.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, he's not, a young, irrational teenager with depression or things like that. I think it was just a volatile relationship between him and the wife,
Ugh.
I didn't get too deep into it, but they definitely didn't seem like they were meshing well.
Ugh. People.
But, yeah, all sorts of
Fun
little
things.
fun events in the last week or two.
Yeah.
Had just about zero sleep
Yeah.
the last week. So I worked night shift 7 to 7 p.m. to 7 a.m.
Ugh.
And so 12-hour shifts at night. And then in the morning, I got to do a trial all week. So
Okay.
after 12-hour shift of patrol, I wait an hour for the court to open up, drive there, and then I was in court all day testifying on a
Ugh.
previous case
That sounds horrible.
all week long. And then I got 3 hours of sleep, right
That's
back on.
not enough.
I agree.
sleep.
I agree. I didn't think it was enough either, but I didn't have a choice. After 3 hours of sleep, wake up, 12 hours on patrol again. After that 12 hours, go back to court, 3 hours of sleep, back to patrol, back to court, all week long.
That sounds
It was
horrible.
one of the most brutal weeks I've had.
I
It
bet.
was horrific.
Oh.
So this weekend, I kind of was just,
Like, chill out.
I want to at least take one day where I just do nothing and vegetate in bed.
Just nap all day.
Yeah, even when I wake up, I don't think I'm going to get out of bed. I think I'm going to stay in bed awake.
Just in case you fall back to sleep.
Yeah, why not? Take the opportunity when I got it,
Totally.
So from what I understand, you've got some sort of game or trivia or what,
Yeah.
what do you got?
So I have some famous last words from serial killers.
Oh, okay.
And I was gonna read some to you and see if you could figure out who said it.
Perfect.
They're pretty infamous ones, so I think you'll know some names.
I don't think I will because
You don't know anything?
I don't know any last words from anybody because I never really looked into it, honestly.
I know, but like just based on their personality, like
Okay.
maybe.
We'll
you
see.
know?
How many do we have here?
All right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't think I'm gonna do all of these ones. I'm gonna pick my favorite ones.
Well, how many do you have
There's, like,
total?
I think there's like 20.
20?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do all of them. I'm not gonna
Wait,
do all of
do you
them.
have a pen?
I don't.
We are ill-equipped. Is there a pen over there?
Let me check.
Because I want to keep track of my score.
Hold on.
I want to see if I can get like a 90% at least. I don't like failing tests.
Is it a test now?
I don't know. I'm probably taking it a little too serious.
Too serious. I think I have a pen.
If not, we'll have to keep score on the playback. We'll watch it back
We'll just
and
watch
tally it
and
up.
we'll
Yeah.
talk it later. No, but I have gum.
Oh, that works. Let's line up pieces of gum for everyone I get right.
Let's just do it.
All right.
Okay.
Hit me.
I'm just gonna pick my favorite ones because I think they're funny.
Are you going to be able to keep track of the ones that you're not asking?
Yeah.
In case we got more time and you can circle back to them?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna start with. I think you might know this one because.
And these are all serial killers.
Mhm.
And these are their last words before being sentenced to death?
Yeah, they
or
were.
they just died of old age in prison?
Yeah,
or?
and I can tell you how they were executed if you
Well,
want to.
We'll do that as like a lifeline.
Okay.
Like if I can't get it, I'll be like, okay, well, tell me how they were executed.
Okay, and
That'll be like a
I
hint.
can tell you how many victims they had, how
Oh, perfect. So I got multiple lifelines here.
how they killed their victims, the date they were executed, and how they were executed, and their last words.
Perfect. Let's start with just the last words, and then we'll progress through and see
Okay,
what it takes for me to get it.
Okay, this one's very short and sweet. Okay,
Okay.
kiss my ass.
John Wayne Gacy.
It's totally John.
Oh, I knew it.
I knew it was going to be easy because we just watched that thing recently.
I did watch the documentary, but that wasn't in there. So
Yeah.
that's not cheating. That's
Okay.
not cheating. That wasn't
I
in the
don't think it was in
documentary.
there,
I
but I
only
thought-
knew that because of how I perceived that piece of shit's attitude.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's totally.
Yeah.
And he died, he chose lethal injection, or they chose it for him or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Okay. This one is really funny.
Okay.
I don't know if you'll get this one because,
We got a comedian in the group, huh?
yeah, but I don't think she thought it was funny when, well, I guess it's a girl, so. But I don't think you'll get it anyway.
Okay. Well, there's only one female serial killer I know that was on death row. It was not Warhol, but
Oh, okay, yeah, you already know it.
the prostitute serial killer
Yeah.
that they made the movie about.
Uh-huh.
What was her name?
Eileen Wuornos.
Warnos, not Warhol.
All right, let me tell you what she said.
Go
though.
for it.
I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock, and I'll be back like Independence Day with Jesus, June 6th, like the movie. Big mothership and all. I'll be back.
Wow.
I know, really profound, right?
Wait, hit me one more time with that. I gotta soak that in. Hit me one more time.
Okay. I'd just like to say I'm sailing with the Rock.
Wait, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Okay.
And I'll be back like Independence Day.
What does that mean?
I think it's the movie because it's italicized.
Okay.
Okay. With Jesus, June 6th, like the movie, Big Mothership and all. I'll be back. So I think she's referring to the movie
called
Independence
Big
Day.
Mothership?
No, like the movie Independence Day.
Jesus doesn't have anything to do
I
with
don't
Independence
know, but
Day.
I don't know. Isn't
And neither
there
does Sailing with a Rock.
But isn't there a ship in Independence
Yeah,
Day?
the mothership. Yeah, I get that reference, but the rest of it makes no sense
Yeah,
if you're...
but I think she was crazy.
Well, you think?
really.
Maybe a little bit, you know.
Also, lethal injection.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to another one here.
Yeah, you kind of gave it away when you said she.
Well, I thought that you didn't know that many female ones.
I don't. I only knew that one.
Okay, so let's do this one.
All right.
All right. So I would suggest that when a person has thought of doing anything serious against the law, that before they did that, they should go to a quiet place and think about it seriously. I mean, it's pretty good advice, but
Is this a famous guy?
he killed between.
Wait, don't give me too many.
Okay,
It's a famous one.
famous.
And he killed them.
Yeah,
Okay. So that takes away Marilyn Manson.
it's not Manson.
Oh, and he didn't get executed. What am I thinking?
No, he just died. Like a
Yeah.
piece of shit.
Yeah. I don't think it's Ted Bundy.
It's not.
I know it's not Richard Ramirez.
It's not. Oh, I wonder if he's in this list. I don't think I have his.
Okay, give me some kind of hint here.
Okay, so he had between 21 and 36 murders. His execution was in 1996.
That doesn't really help.
I don't know if you're going to know it.
Hold on, you got any other hints? How about a state?
I don't know. It doesn't say his state. I
You
mean, I think it's California, but there's so many of this nickname one. I think it could be just like West Coast.
So if I get the nickname, do I get it right?
Yeah. But I don't know. There's so many with that name.
Hillside Strangler.
No. There's so many with this nickname, so it's hard. I can't remember which one it is. Yeah.
Okay, give it to me.
Okay, so it's the Freeway killer, William Bonan.
That's not famous.
He's famous. He killed like 36 freaking girls.
I mean,
It's a lot of
it's
people.
an asshole, but
And
he's
I
not
think-
famous.
I
I've
can't
never heard
remember
of him.
specifically, but I think he got caught in like a really dumb way.
Yeah.
I gotta look that up later.
All right, hit me with the next one.
Okay. Okay. These ones are a little less known. So you'll probably be like,
I don't really know serial killers that
I know,
well.
I know.
I'm going to get so many wrong. I just realized I was like, I already named everybody that I know.
Yeah. Let's see here. This one is a really interesting one.
Okay.
You're not gonna know it, but
Okay. Well,
okay. Tell me, after my head has been chopped off, will I still be able to hear, at least for a moment, the sound of my own blood gushing from the stump of my neck? That would be a pleasure to end all pleasures.
wait a minute. I do know this one.
Okay.
And I don't know his name, but I've heard that before. I've
Okay,
heard that
and it's
quote
an
before.
old-timey
Yeah,
one.
obviously. We're talking about a guillotine.
Yes.
We don't really use those anymore.
If you get this nickname, then you can get it.
Oh, God.
Okay.
I've heard that before.
I know, right? It's a crazy one.
Yes, I know. I've heard the story about this
He's
psycho
Yeah,
before,
he's super gross.
but I don't know his name.
Okay. Do you want me to just tell you?
No, give me the hints first. They're not
Okay.
going to help, but send it.
So, he had 9+ victims, so it was like undetermined if he had more. Plus, he was also like a rapist,
Okay.
so he didn't kill everybody.
Right.
He did kill by stabbing or hammer, and his date of execution was in 1931 and by guillotine.
Not America, though, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure this guy wasn't in America.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's America.
Yeah.
I can't remember where he was, though.
I don't know his name.
Okay.
What do you got?
Well, they call him the Vampire of Dusseldorf, so he's probably from Dusseldorf.
Yeah, probably.
His name is Peter Curtin.
I'm not a detective, but that's a clue.
I know. Like, he's not from America. He's from Dusseldorf. But yeah, he's super gross. And how gross is that quote?
Yeah.
I mean, really.
Yeah.
Like, that's how you're excited to die?
I mean, yeah, he's out of his head, you know?
Oh, gross.
The guy's absolutely out of his mind.
Okay. Let me find Richard Ramirez.
I want to know what they say in return.
I don't think that they respond.
Really? Even back then? Like, nowadays, I know they don't because they're like, professionalism and things like that. But back in 1930, you don't think the executioner who was about to drop the guillotine on this psycho's head was going to say some smart-ass shit or
Probably.
some
They
off-color
probably
shit?
did.
Like, come on.
All right. Let me see here. Oh, yeah. Richard Ramirez wasn't executed.
Yeah, he was.
No, he was. I think he got killed in prison.
No.
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Let me see here.
I'm 99% sure he was executed by the state.
He was supposed to be executed.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they did.
Let me see. He was sentenced to die in California's gas chamber, but the Night Stalker would die of natural causes, not an execution.
Huh.
Oh,
That's something.
shit. Okay.
All right, well.
Oh, okay. While continuing to appeal his conviction, he was diagnosed with B-cell lymphoma, which is a blood cancer.
Mm-hmm.
So he died from complications from chronic substance abuse, chronic hepatitis C viral infection, and also from the lymphoma, like all together, kind of just caused him to die.
Oh, okay.
Crazy.
Yeah, I guess.
He died. I don't know. Doesn't say what year he died.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
As long as he's not around anymore.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying when they don't get killed. I think so. Well, I mean, they're like.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
No, I mean, so places like California and things like that, they actually do most times die of natural causes before they're ever executed.
Yeah.
I think probably the most common place that the executions actually come to fruition would be Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Not like Florida?
Florida would probably be next in line, but nobody comes close to the amount of executions that Texas does. Nobody. As a matter of fact, other states, if they haven't had an execution in a while and they got one coming up, they'll send the people who are in charge of the execution to Texas to pretty much learn
to train?
Yeah, basically to train.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a really great documentary. I saw it years and years ago. It's called The Last 24 Hours. And it basically takes you through the final 24 hours of like an execution from the time that they put him in the death cell till like, the whole preparation, the different types of execution. And it talks to like the corrections officers that are in charge of like the strap down team who strap them down and the experts on the different types of execution. Like a guy was an expert on death by electric chair.
Oh, shit.
And so, like, he knew every little, thing about if something went wrong with, like, an electric chair execution, they'd call this guy, and he would come out and do an investigation, and he would basically tell them, hey, this is why it went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know one particular one was the one that everybody hears about, right? The guy's head caught on fire, right? So that's the one that everybody always brings up is, I heard one time this guy's head caught on fire. And it's like, okay, that's true, but there was a reason why it happened. And it was in a state where, they hadn't done it. So it was like their first go at it.
They didn't know.
Right. So one of the things that they do is they put this metal thing on the top of the head, and it has a sponge that's soaked with water. And they put that on the head because basically the sponge, and when I say sponge, I mean like a natural, like a sea sponge, like a legit sponge, right?
Oh, shoot. Okay.
And so it once you wet it, it like opens up. and it directs the flow of electricity like directly to the brain, so it makes for like a quick death. It's the most efficient form to electrocute someone, right?
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Well, this place cheaped out and got like a 99-cent store sponge or some shit. Probably not a 99-cent store, but you know what I mean. Like,
not the right one.
They got like a synthetic sponge.
Yeah.
And it doesn't open up like that.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like blocking the flow of electricity to the brain.
And then the sponge caught on fire?
Yeah, so then his head caught on fire. So when the guy came out to investigate and he saw the sponge, he was like, I already know why it happened. He's like, you guys are using the wrong sponge. And I think, if I remember correctly, it's been years since I watched the documentary. It's really, really good documentary. It's not like gruesome or anything like that. So if you're worried about like, I'm not into gruesome or death, it doesn't show like executions, okay? It's just, it's really
like more
interesting.
Informative?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But they had like, after that guy's head caught on fire, they'd like stopped executions in that state for like a long time because they were like, yo, this is not, it's not kosher, you know?
Did the guy die though?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I don't.
Yeah, that sounds horrible though.
I can't say for certainty because I don't remember. Like I said, I probably watched this like 10 years ago.
Oh
but,
my goodness.
Once, they ran the test with the natural sponge and everything like that, and they fixed it, they resumed executions after that. But yeah. Anyway.
You get to pick how you die?
Actually, it depends on the state.
Oh, okay.
So like in Utah, you can choose to be put to death by firing squad if you were convicted before 2004.
That sounds horrible.
Right.
Sounds fast though. No?
Depends. I mean, no pun intended, but that really is like taking a shot in the dark. Like, because you don't know who the marksman is that's doing it. You don't know where you're going to get hit. You don't know how your body's going to react to where you get hit with a bullet. Because I got to tell you, from somebody who's seen all sorts of different types of gunshot wounds in different types of people, there are wounds where you would think for sure that person's going to die and they don't. And I've seen ones where it's like, oh, they should be fine, and they die. And it's like, who knows, man? Who knows how that's going to go for you? Yeah. That's the only reason I wouldn't. If it was up to me and they were like, you want firing squad? I'd be like, oh, hell no. Because I have no idea how that's going to, how it's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like,
it sounds scary.
It could be instant. It could be, go real well. It could not go real well.
Yeah.
It could go horribly. And I think there's still one or two states that allow hanging, although I don't think they've done it in forever. I don't think they have.
I think the last actual hanging was like in the 60s.
Yeah, I know that.
Which I still think
it's still an option in a couple of states.
I think it is, yeah. I don't know who would pick it though, because it's not a quick death. Even if your neck snaps, it still seems like it's like.
Yeah, that's not the way I'd choose to go out.
I don't know.
For sure. The one that seemed by far the worst was the gas chamber, though.
That sounds horrible, doesn't it?
Yes, because
you gotta just suffocate, basically.
It's not suffocating. It would be much more pleasant if it was just suffocating. It's poisonous gases. It's basically melting your insides. It's not like you just ran out of air. You're sucking in poison.
Thing.
So it's like...
Well, there was a person on here that did get the gas chamber.
Yeah, she
only killed one person.
I think it's California, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it's California, but there's one state for sure where... And it's the most expensive form of execution, too, because of the seals of the gas chamber. They all have to have new seals every single go-round, and they're all extremely expensive because... You need to make sure that thing doesn't leak, because if it does, everybody else in the room is screwed, right?
Oh, my God.
So to save money, they put 2 chairs in the gas chamber to execute 2 people at a time.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
You have this lady, it says she only killed one person. Her name is Barbara Graham.
Mm-hmm.
She was executed in 1955 by the gas chamber. Mm. And her last words were, "Good people are always so sure they're right."
Okay.
It's like, what?
I'd be like, does that include you? You think you're right?
I mean, one victim? Gas chamber?
It depends. Yeah, so, I mean...
I might have to look her up a little bit.
You don't know what she did to that victim. You know what I mean? It could be some pretty horrific.
It says cause of death, pistol whip / suffocation.
So it might be kind of like a torture beef type thing. Maybe. Like, I don't know, because I'm not familiar with the case.
I don't know that case either, but it sounds interesting.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the expert on the gas chamber in that documentary was like, it could take up to like 10, 15 minutes. Of being poisoned.
No.
Yeah. So I was like, that sounds by far like the worst method.
No, yeah, no.
Yeah. And I don't think it's been used in forever.
I think electric chair sounds horrible. I think just lethal injection sounds cool to me.
Believe it or not, one of the execution experts, he even said, he was like, if I had to choose which way, I would choose the electric chair because I know it would happen the fastest.
No.
That's what he said.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Basically, the way it was explained is that although on some of these electric chair executions, it may seem like it took a while for them to be clinically dead, they were not there anymore almost instantly.
Like, feeling it?
Right. That's the way they were kind of describing
okay.
it. They're like, even though that person took a little while to be clinically dead from the electrocution,
they
were gone like almost
Yeah.
instantly.
That makes
Like
sense.
the amount, like how they do it, basically, it's like, dude, you're done.
Ugh, sounds bad though.
It does. None of them sound pleasant.
It's true. That's true.
And I don't think it's supposed to be,
It's not.
but it's supposed to be humane due to the 8th Amendment against cruel and unusual punishment.
Yeah. Too bad they had to murder people.
I agree, but our Constitution is our Constitution.
I know, it's there for a reason.
I know. Okay, give me some more last words. I'm soaking it up.
Okay. I don't know a lot of these people on this list, actually.
Well, give me something that I might know.
Okay. I don't know. Let's see what Ted Bundy's were. Did he say anything?
You just told me who said it. You can't do that.
Oh, sorry. I don't know. Let's see here. A lot of people, like, died before they were, like, executed, too.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we were just talking about. Most places, that's
So
what
it's
happens.
really annoying.
It's annoying. I don't think I've ever heard somebody put it that way. It's really annoying. You're going to die before you can get executed by the state? How annoying.
Let's see here. I'm going to find one that's good.
I tell you what, I don't even care if it's somebody I know. Give me one that's going to hit home.
Mm-hmm.
Give me one that's going to stick with me.
This one's weird.
Okay, send it.
It just says, turn up the radio. I'll go quietly.
That's got to be an old one.
Yeah, it is. It was
Like in the 30s?
1958.
Oh, okay.
And he was hanged.
Oh, okay.
The Beast of Birkenshaw. Oh, I've heard of him.
I have not.
Let's see here. This one's stupid. This guy's dumb. How's this for a headline? French fries. That's just it. That's just the
Wow,
whole thing.
that's what you're going to go with, huh, bud?
Yeah.
I mean,
1966.
literally never going to utter another word again, and that's how you're going to send it off? All right.
Yeah. Like, really, that's stupid.
French fries? Really? You couldn't have even said something funny?
Okay, this guy said, today is a good day to die. I forgive all of you. I hope God does too.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure the crowd felt super bad.
Yeah, for you killing people.
Yeah. Today, well, I mean, he's saying it's a good day to die. I mean,
Oh my gosh. I'm going to have to look this up later.
Why?
Okay, so last words just are, I have nothing to say.
Well,
Right.
That's kind of redundant there, buddy. If you have nothing to say for your last words, you don't say I have nothing to say.
This one's really old. It's 1896.
The guy had nothing to say?
It's a woman.
Oh, okay.
And it says 6 confirmed, 400 plus attributed children.
Oh, great.
Yeah, like what the heck is that?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to look that up later. Amelia Dyer.
Yeah, that seems like a real great bedtime story.
This guy, his last words are just such is life. And then his name is just Edward Kelly. And then it says AKA Ned.
Ned?
1880.
All right. We're about out of time, so I want you to give a good send-off one. I want you to look through your shit, and this is the one that we're going to end the episode on.
Oh, okay.
Give me a juicy one.
Okay. It's short, but I think it's funny.
Okay, send it.
Okay. Beam me up.
Really? That's the one. Who said that? What kind of smart ass said that for his last words?
His name was Guy Barris or something like that.
This obviously had to have been like the 80s.
1997.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and how was he executed?
Lethal injection. Beam me up, though.
What an asshole.
It's like, come on.
You think the people in the execution room laughed?
Probably.
You think so?
Probably.
I'm not going to lie. I probably would have chuckled a little bit. I don't know.
And then you're like, okay, bye.
Yeah. Hey, man, that's a hell of a way to go out, I guess.
All right.
Ended on a joke. I like it. Well, this was a good episode.
Yeah, it was super fun.
We're going to continue to put them out. Like I said, we're going to get the schedule to be a little more consistent on when they come out. We're going to figure it out, but look forward to it about once a month.
Yeah.
Once a month is what we're shooting for from now on,
Yeah.
right? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody tuning in.
Thank you.
We'll catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.